Dr. Antoinette Schiesler started her career as an Oblate Order nun and elementary school teacher. After leaving the order, she became a college administrator and champion of improvement of science education for minority students. Schiesler was born Carol Virginia Rodez in Chicago, Illinois on December 13, 1934. Her mother Gladys was a singer and had traveled to Chicago from her hometown of New Haven, Connecticut, in order to find work with the big bands. It was there that she met a Cuban man named Rodriguez, and Carol was the result of this first encounter. Carol did not know this until later in her life. She lived with her mother as a single parent in New Haven, where her mother had returned because she had more friends and relatives who could help take care of Carol while she worked. They lived an unsettled life, as her mother struggled to get jobs to live and pay the rent. Carol was sometimes placed with friends and relatives while her mother worked out of state. She was a bright child, interested in science and how things worked. She took one of her dolls apart to see how it made noise. One of her favorite birthday presents was a chemistry set. The first thing she made with the set was purple ink. Her mother encouraged her by taking her to free concerts in the park, to libraries, and on tours on the public bus, where she learned to read by reading the advertisements on the bus. When Carol was 12 years old, her mother decided that she should have a stable life and a good education. Gladys valued education, having had 2 years of college at City College in New York. Therefore, Carol was placed at St. Francis Academy, a Catholic boarding school for colored girls. She was not Catholic at the time, but that did not matter. The Oblate Sisters of Providence, free black Roman Catholic nuns, primarily of Haitian descent, had founded St. Francis Academy in Baltimore in 1828. At that time, black children were not allowed to be taught in Baltimore. St. Francis became the first school for black children in the city. It was a school for girls in grades 8 through 12. Carol fell in love with the school, its discipline, and its nuns. At first, she resisted because she was not Catholic, but later decided she wanted to become a nun and converted to Catholicism after the 9th grade. During her first years at the school, she became a scholarship student as her mother lost her job and could not afford to pay the tuition. She was different from most of the girls at the school because of her receipt of a scholarship. She was required to take chemistry as a senior at St. Francis, and she loved it. She became the teacher's favorite and was given challenging assignments. She also started to run the lab and teach other students when the teacher was absent. She became the best in her class, and she loved the structure and discipline of chemistry, paired with creativity and discovery. The discipline also appealed to her stage in life. She explains, "I was looking for answers as an adolescent, and chemistry provided them. I was extremely scrupulous." She entered the convent of the Immaculate Conception on September 8, 1952, at the age of 17, as Carol Rodez. She became a postulant with the new name of Mary Antoinette on March 9, 1953, and would retain this name for the rest of her life. She took her final vows on March 9, 1955. After 2 years of teacher training at the Oblate Institute, she was sent off to teach elementary school in Washington, D.C. She hated it because she had not had classroom management training and did not know how to handle the students. Her third assignment was teaching science and math to the older kids, and she loved it. She was going to the College of Notre Dame of Maryland part-time while teaching, and full-time in the summer. She received her BA degree in 1967. Because of her skills in science, it was suggested that she apply for a program for junior college teachers of math and science sponsored by the National Labs in Oak Ridge, Tennessee. Mary Antoinette was accepted, even though she was an elementary school teacher. Only 20 students had been accepted into the program, and she was the only African American student. She received grudging permission from the Mother Superior to go, even though she should have asked permission before she applied to the program. When she arrived at Oak Ridge, it was the first time that she was on her own in an apartment. Living in a convent would have been too much because of her exhausting schedule. She taught herself some of the prerequisites to the curriculum because she had never had physics, and she was to learn nuclear physics. It was at Oak Ridge that she became self-confident as a student and thinker. She enjoyed the making of science. Her advisor at Oak Ridge was a biochemist. Even though she had not studied biochemistry, he became her advisor by default. Her advisor made her work on a piece of his research as a thesis topic and told her that she was on her own in doing so. Her topic became the effect of radioactivity on enzymes. She had to learn everything from the beginning. She succeeded and wrote a master's thesis entitled the inactivation of pancreatic lipase by gamma radiation. She received her master's degree in August 1969 from the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, having achieved it mostly by independent study. After this experience at Oak Ridge and the taste of independence, Marie Antoinette went back to the convent, but life was not the same. She returned to Mount Providence Junior College as a registrar, academic dean, and instructor in math. She had been a person who had loved being a nun, but not anymore. After a year, in 1971, she left the order. This was the only reason that the Mother Superior had not wanted her to go to Oak Ridge. She felt that Marie Antoinette might leave. Marie Antoinette had been a good nun, so good that she might have been in line to become the next Mother Superior, but she gave up that calling. Soon after she left the order, she met Robert Allen Schiesler, a former Roman Catholic seminarian. He had left the seminary, taught school for a while, and decided to become an Episcopal priest. They were married on October 20th, 1973, even though he was a white man who was 14 years younger than she was. The couple ran into trouble when they traveled in the South. As in some states, it was still illegal for a white person to be married to a black person. They remained married until her death in 1996. She resisted being a clergy spouse who served tea and cookies to the women in the church, as she was a professional and wanted to remain so. Her first job on her own was co-teaching a course at Bowie State College, a historically black college. She then went to the University of Maryland, College Park, to pursue a PhD in academic education. She worked at the University of Maryland in the School of Pharmacy as a lecturer and lab coordinator. She set about to rewrite the workbooks in math and science because they were not good. She had a series of jobs at the Maryland State Board of Higher Education, the National Science Foundation, program manager, Eastern Michigan University, director of research, Villanova University, director of research and sponsored programs, and finally, in 1988, academic dean at Cabrini College in Radnor, Pennsylvania, until 1993. She decided to become an Episcopal priest. Her husband, also a priest, did not want her to do so at first. He felt she was too old at 52 to begin a new career and that she would take a major cut in salary. He apparently was also concerned about competition between them. She decided that her ministry would be different. She had started a women's spirituality group at Cabrini College in which women met once a week to discover the Spirit. She had long ago learned to play guitar and sing, and she did that at these events. She did not want a hierarchical group, but more of a circle of equals. She was ordained and became the assistant to the dean of the Cathedral of St. John in Wilmington, Delaware, until her sudden death caused by a brain tumor in 1996. Her family has sponsored a scholarship at Cabrini College in her memory. Throughout Dr. Schiesler's life, she was able to join two disciplines, science and religion. Even now, scholars are trying to correlate religion and science. To be a scientist, you must adhere to the principles and rules of science. Science is based on observable, testable data. Some people say that religion is based on beliefs that have no concrete or tangible evidence. She did not see it that way. She believed that religion and science reinforced and strengthened one another. She stated, "The beauty of chemistry and astronomy say so much to me about the beauty and wonder of God. How could you take a chemistry course and not believe in God? The order, the fitting together, all God's work. Chemistry is the micro world, disciplined and ordered, and astronomy is the macro world, harmonious and ordered."